We start by news making the headlines where Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola says the 2-1 win over West Ham showed him how to unlock packed defenses that are almost impossible to break down. For the second time in 3 matches, City came from behind to extend their winning run to 13 Premier League games. Pep Guardiola stressed that Manchester City will need a lot of points to win the Premier League title despite regaining their 8-point lead at the summit with victory over West Ham United. Manchester City made it 13 straight wins in their Premier League match, equaling Arsenal's tally in 2001-2002 season and Chelsea's record from last season in the process. City face neighbours Manchester United next weekend, who will be without midfielder Paul Pogba through suspension, and Guardiola admitted he wished the Frenchman was available to play.
We saw our opponents, United is always there, and Chelsea is coming back. So a little bit in the beginning, it's the same Chelsea last season, and Liverpool now is in time. So the problem, I think, for example, United on the other ones, they have made good results, but the problem is until now we didn't lose, and that's why this gap. But the results from the other opponents is to be champion. So, but I think we have to make still a lot of points, and sometimes it's good to win points and knowing how difficult it will be, just looking at what happened in the last 3 games. So still we score goals, 2 goals, we create chances again, more chances at the opponent, we concede few, and how they run the team. Kevin De Bruyne like a holding midfielder, alone, make a good, amazing passes. Our rhythm in the second half, thanks to him, were much better. David Moore a little more free behind the lines, but was alone, how he, make backwards to defend. So I'm very pleased. Again, I'm so pleased the way we played in the second half. Because show me a lot of things about in that terms.
To CECAFA Senior Challenge Cup now, where the national football team Harambee Stars kicked off the 2017 Senior Challenge Cup with a 2-0 win against Rwanda in the opening match played at the Bukungu Stadium, Kakamega County. Masoud Juma, 24th minute sport kick, gave Kenya the lead, while a Duncan Otieno 36th minute goal sealed the win. It was Paul Putt's first assignment since his appointment as Harambee Stars coach.
Ningependa pia kumtambua rais wa shirikisho la kandanda la Kenya,
It was a very difficult pitch to play. Of course, it's for both sides. But we have been working 1 week on construction, building up, and I think we have to improve on this issue. But what for me it's important is your first game. Also in first game in the tournament, it's very important that you get a good result.
In the other Group A game where it was played in Machakos, Libya drew with Tanzania 0-0. That means Harambee Stars now tops that group with 3 points, followed by the 2 sides, that is Tanzania and, of course, Libya. But then we switch gears now to athletics, where the Olympic marathon champion Eliud Kipchoge has been enjoying his off-season, which is now over, as he gets down to prepare for the 2018 season that will include the chase for a 3rd London Marathon title in April. Early this week, Kipchoge and professors feel when he addressed students at the Oxford University in London. Well, what a day for Eliud Kipchoge there. It's one man who is destined for greatness. You know, he's achieved everything on the track. Now he's gone to marathon. But then over the last week, he was at Oxford University where he had that feel of a professor, you know, addressing those students. And we wish him well, knowing that he's one man that every Kenyan has been talking about. It's very philosophical and he understands his game. But now let's move to our discussion topic today, where it's about Harambee Stars, who got off to a fine start yesterday by beating Rwanda 2-0. Those goals coming from Masoud Juma, the Kariobangi Sharks striker, and of course AFC Leopards captain, that is Duncan Otieno, scoring that screamer. And I've brought to you in the studio Titus Mulama, who played for Harambee Stars. He played for also Mombasa United. He has also played in Europe. And he was the man that everybody else knew that he was the engine behind Dennis Oliech as he made his exploits. And of course, again, we have Shadrack Odinga Andenga, who is a sports journalist, of course, a former footballer. He's now plays Sunday football, maybe. Karibu sana, guys. Karibu sana, Titus Mulama. For those of you who know Titus Mulama, his brother also, Simeon Mulama, used to play for Harambee Stars, played also for Mombasa United, played in Europe and the Americas. When you look at him, you would think he's Simeon Mulama. What's the difference, Titus, between you and Simeon?
There's no difference. I don't think there's any difference. Maybe he's putting a little bit more weight, but he's still the same guy. Yeah.
Very tactical, very knowledgeable of the game, just like Titus himself.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. What are you doing? What are you doing now? Now that you retired from active football?
Well, I quit playing, but I am involved with. I'm still in the sport. I have a small team back home, not back home really, but in the city. So I deal with young kids. I have an academy. It's called the Hurricane Boys. So they're mainly junior players from 9 years to 14 years. That's what I deal with at the moment.
Titus Mulama, he had a deft left foot, that touch, and some of us were thinking if we could clone another Titus Mulama so that he helps us in the midfield, we would have done so. Shadrack, just before we go to the set, we had politicians, scholars talking about expected cabinet changes. What do you wish for in sports?
I would have wished that the president would have listened to them. The last professor who sat on my left,
Jacoya.
Jacoya, said something that is very, very important. You just don't pick someone because he's a political sycophant and put him in any ministry. Toskin, you did not even participate even in PE in school. You don't have a history in sports. Just because you moved from Jubilee to NASA, or NASA to Jubilee, and now you're the Minister of Sports. That's what has happened with Waria. Look how we've suffered for the last 5 years. Don't tell me that Waria will still keep his job or bring another Waria there. That will be a disgrace. The history of Kenya.
You are saying we lost 5 years, good years.
We wasted 5 years. There's nothing that he has done. So I think, in just addition to what the professors have said, the president should look at the history of people who have participated in sports. For example, if you go to Lubumbashi, there's a guy known as Moise Katumbi. He literally bought Letupuiza Mazembe from ashes, and now Letupuiza Mazembe is winning in Africa. They go and play in World Club Championship. So if you tell me you have someone like Moise Katumbi, put him on a Minister of Sports, then it makes sense. If you go to Cameroon at one time, they put Roger Mila there. It makes sense because he's participated in sports. But you just don't pick Andenga Odinga, who never even participated in any sport in primary school, never even in PE, did nothing, and now I'll be the minister. So that's a joke.
It's fingers crossed as the president prepares to name his cabinet team, and the sporting world, the sporting fraternity, will be wishing that we get the person who can take sport to another level. But of course, again, the topic of today is Harambee Stars. Yesterday, I got into social media and guys, you know, were waxing lyrical, saying that now that is the Harambee Stars that we would like to see, you know, grow into a big one. Yesterday, we posted something on Facebook, and so many people came out saying, look, the future of Harambee Stars is this team. That is somebody called D. Nick. He says Dennis Shikai, Duncan Otieno, Samuel Onyango, Masood Juma should be nurtured to fill the gap of the aging regulars. Somebody here again, Edwin Odipo, says, he asked a question, who is the assistant coach for our teams? But of course, we know we have our own coach, that is the senior team coach, that is Paul Putt, new coach in charge. There is James Wakabi. He says that finally Kenya has a coach, and it showed in yesterday's match. But I don't know, you guys, you must have watched the game. What did you make of that game, Titus?
Well, I think it's very normal that with a new coach, it creates a lot of excitement, enthusiasm within the playing unit, within the players who got the new call-up. And you could see it by the way they were like trying to express themselves on the pitch. So it's very normal. It was expected because every player feels that now he's playing in the national team, he's there on merit.
Yes.
So it is normal what happened yesterday, or we just give it time and see how it builds up.
What were your impressions, with those 2 goals against a Rwandan side that has qualified for CHAN? They will be going to Morocco.
Well, I wasn't particularly impressed with the first goal. That penalty to me was dubious. Looking on the replays, I think Atudo would have gotten a yellow card for simulating. I don't think that was a penalty. But I was impressed by Dante's screamer. Maybe 25 yards or 30. That was amazing.
34.8 meters.
That is amazing. That was a goal that will take. But again, we start the second half. Rwanda, 10 man down. They play like they're on top of the world. They played like Brazil. So I'm actually scared when we meet Uganda or when we meet Tanzania, teams that are able. If you cannot play against a 10-man team, well, it's a victory, we'll take it. Because then it's long since Kenya won.
But of course, you cannot take away the fact that the team showed some energy, some real energy, going forward, attacking with pace and speed, which we've not seen over, how many matches.
The other day I was commentating football with Stephen Mkangai when Manchester United played against Arsenal. And he said, he'll just take it because as a Manchester United fan, you just take it because it's 3 points. But they did nothing. You can't really tell me Harambee Stars really did attack. For a whole 30 minutes, we're on our back against a 10-man Rwandese side. The Rwandese side, the Mavubi, they completed at least 10, 15 passes. Harambee Stars did not complete even 7 passes. We are only happy because we won. But the style of play does not add up.
But the
if
coach,
we cannot complete even 7 passes, how are we going to compete against Uganda?
But the coach said at the end of the game that, okay, he's happy with the way the boys applied themselves, and the pitch was difficult for both sides, Harambee Stars and Rwanda. But Mulama, that was the first time for Harambee Stars team playing at Bohungu Stadium. Did you expect them maybe to perform that way, or it was really good for them that they came up with such a victory?
Well, it's not really the first time because these players play local football, so they know the pitch very well. So I don't think it was only maybe the first time to play as a unit together on that pitch, but they've been playing there for the whole season, So what I think, it was a good result. We should take it because it's a tournament. What we need are the 3 points. Now we have 2 matches. From these 2 matches, if we only have 1 point, we're through to the quarters. So what we are looking at the moment is, can we get a result? Can we bring joy or bring that confidence back from the fans to the players so that they believe that now we have a team. They can run behind the team and give the team the support that they need at this moment. Just looking at the result. So as I said earlier, it is something that they can build on, putting in mind that it is a tournament and what you want is results. And
having played for that team, Harambee Stars, and you saw the talent yesterday on show. Everybody else is talking about Masood Juma of Kariobangi Sharks, talking about Samuel Onyango of Ulinzi Stars, of course, Dinish Sikai. They had some pace. Like, whichever way you look at it, they attacked with a lot of pace. But then do you think that midfield was good enough to help those boys express themselves up front?
Well, I've looked at one player, Ivan Isuza
Ivan Isuza, yes.
Yeah, from AFC, I think.
Yes.
He's a good player, and if he gets more players around him, good players around him, more creative players, I think we will be good to go, not only for this tournament, but also for the future, because he's creative, he has the speed, he's also brave. He can make those, try to make those split passes or split the opponent's defenders with his pass or with his runs. So I think that we have something coming. Just that they had not had a chance to be to exploit their potential, but they are really. I think we have a good team.
Yeah, Edward Dindi says that at least we could see some purposeful playing. We were used to sluggish passing, but yesterday we played more direct. I don't know, what positive thing did you pick maybe from that squad?
The only positive thing that I picked from yesterday's match is that we got a win, nothing else. I don't think we played as a unit, collectiveness. I mean, as a footballer, you're looking at a team that collectively, as a unit, can gel up. Let's be honest. Like I said earlier on, I'm worried when we meet a good team. If we struggled against, we struggled against a 10-man Rwanda in the second half. It's just that they never got real chances, and our defense was solid. That's it. But we took, when Kefa Aswani came in, he had problems with his midfielders. They were way too far. And the only supporting midfielder was Ivan Isuza. But he's only one guy who had no gas in the last 15 minutes. Because we used him a lot. And I agree with Titus that if we get 3 others, use only one holding midfielder. Only one holding midfielder. Then we can use 3 offensive midfielders that can play like Ivan Isuza.
But the fact is,
we had Jojo Diambo Blackberry.
The fact is, we have.
But what is Okumbi doing? You're supposed to tell him. Okumbi picked a squad for him because the coach is new. He doesn't know Titus Mulama. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know you. But you have someone who's been there with these guys. So you're supposed to tell him. Titus Mulama is a left offensive player. I even saw him at one time at Mathare United. He played as a left back. I've seen him played as a left back. I've seen him played in the middle, in the park of the middle, and as a left offensive. So I know him. So when I'm at the national team level, depending on how the opponents are, I'll definitely tell the coach, this particular game, Titus Mulama cannot play as a holding midfielder. Let's push him outside so that he can cross the ball for a tall striker to score. Because I know him. So Okumbi is there, John Kamau, he's been with the guys. So they're supposed to tell Paul Put that, you know what, we need more offensive players. We need, because
from what you are saying, from what Shadrach is saying is that are we ready to judge Harambee Stars by this tournament? Are we ready to judge the coach by this tournament? Or what would be your opinion, Titus, going forward?
Well, I can say we are, not from that game, but from the tournament. We have like 2 more matches. We'll see how it turns out. But at the moment, what I'm seeing is a good team. And considering the amount of pressure with the first game of the tournament, you need a win. You need a good result. Considering that you're playing at home, a lot of pressure. And the way the boys expressed themselves, or from the result we had, I think we have hope.
Okay. Harambee Stars has played at Kakamega first time playing there. The fans came out in huge numbers, you know. And do you think it was a good idea to take Harambee Stars outside Nairobi? Because Nairobians somehow don't appreciate the national team?
Yeah, it was good for their experience because, just like I said, they need that pressure because now they will be playing international football at a higher level. You go to a pitch 60, 70, 80,000 packed away from home, so you have to start working. It builds them up if they can start working under such pressure from home.
Harambee Stars' next game is against Libya, and they will be playing at Machakos. But remember, if they get to the semi-finals, they'll be playing in Kisumu. Kisumu has been drafted back into hosting the CECAFA Senior Challenge Cup. And quickly, just your comment as we wrap up, because we've got to go now, is what are your thoughts about those facilities? You saw Kakamega, Bukungu Stadium, but then after it rained, I'm told the VIPs were evacuated.
It's horrible. Well, again, we'll take it because we don't have anything that can be compared to that. But let's be honest. I mean, that's not a facility that can cost 400 million. Georgia, I have a friend who went to Georgia and he said that a facility 10 times better than what Buhungu has costed 80 million Kenya shillings. So I think we should stop from being the ideologies of tumbocrats to start thinking about the common good. We need maybe 5 more Kasaranis. Quality stadiums that we can talk about in places like Meru, not in urban centers like Nairobi, places like Meru, Isiolo. When you take an Harambee Stars game to Isiolo, trust me, people from Isiolo will come watch football because what else are they doing? They'll come watch football. If you bring it to Nairobi, I mean, you can go watch Manchester United in a bar. Sure. You wouldn't come to Kasarani and pay your 100 to watch Harambee Stars play. At
least it's a good start. Kakamega County has provided us with a very good facility. At least, you know, like he says, we'll take it. And Kisumu Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o has been in Nairobi pitching for Kisumu, you know, to host some of the matches of CECAFA Senior Challenge Cup. And the semi-finals will be played there. I don't know, my colleague Michelle, if you'll make time to go to the stadium and watch some of those matches.
You know, it's always been something I've meant to do, but I've never really gotten to it, but I will make sure to grab the next match. But we have Samuel Orutwa here on social media who says vetting people for cabinet secretaries can only make sense if the committees will look at their past qualifications. But saying thank you to the communities which supported the president in the last election and to retain the same in coming elections is not the way to go. That's where we wind up Sports Chat this morning on Morning Express. Bring us to